Hello. I have been thinking so much about minimalism and identity at the moment. One of the reasons I think is because I have a little girl now, and I find it so interesting that so many of the things that I buy for her are just for a short period of time. So the books that I buy for her are for her, being a baby, being a toddler, and the clothes are just for this certain few months. It's very much like, because she's a child, these very clear little segments of her life where certain things are going to be appropriate for her to have. And it makes me think, because I have bought so many things thinking that was kind of going to be me forever. That version of me was going to be the me forever. I was going to own this thing forever. Like, the idea of actually getting rid of things and the purpose that the actual decluttering would serve is only something that occurred to me quite late in life. And it's crazy to me because it's so easy to acknowledge my baby, my child, as a ever-changing, ever-growing person, because you see it. It's so obvious. She looks different, she's acting different, she can do different things. But that change is mirrored in me and you and everyone. We are always changing and learning and growing in some form, but when it's not visible, it's just so difficult to actually recognize it. So I've been thinking a little bit about identity and about the feeling that I used to get when it came to getting rid of something that I had tied some form of identity to. So often I would equate decluttering something with giving up on myself. So let's say I really wanted to be a lady who did yoga, a yoga lady. I would feel like if I decluttered my yoga mat, that would mean that I was like closing the door on that version of myself and saying, goodbye, I'm never going to be you, you're never going to be me. And I think this is why I struggled so much to actually declutter stuff at the beginning. Well, before I discovered minimalism rather, was because I couldn't cope with the idea of giving up. But I needed minimalism to teach me that it's not giving up. Nothing about it is giving up. It's all about actually working out who you are and acknowledging that the way to work out who you are is to actually spend time with the version of yourself that you are, without all of those things, without all of the different hats that you've tried to try on. Identity is something that is so fragile, and especially in teenage and early 20 years when you are kind of trying to work out who you are, and it's very easy at that time to buy into the idea that who you are is what you show to the world. And so it's, I think particularly for young girls, we can go down this avenue of thinking that how you portray yourself and how you present yourself to the world equates your character, equates your identity in some form, when those things are very separate. And it's sad when I think back, because I think I was so tied up in the different versions of me that lived in every individual person's head that I met, that I couldn't focus on my own relationship with myself. And that is one of the things that minimalism gave me, one of the best things it gave me. And then the act of decluttering was so therapeutic to me, because it meant I could go through all these potential identities, the versions of me that I wanted to come alive but didn't, and then I felt incredible guilt over. I was able to actually make peace with that, which meant making peace with the version of myself that I am. There is a real emotional weight to being surrounded by all of these reminders of the versions of you that you never became. It's like living in a graveyard of potential. And if you can make your outer space reflect who you are today, you're more likely to move into the space of someone that you would like to become. I don't think you necessarily need to declutter all of your things in order to come to that conclusion, but for somebody growing up, when I grew up, the way the media was shouting at young girls to be a certain way, also the mindset shift that you're not giving up on yourself. It's not about giving up, and it's not about saying goodbye to a version of yourself that you would like to bring into fruition. Because the irony of the situation, in almost any situation, to be totally honest with you, the most surefire way to become the person that you want to be, or to live the life that you want to live, or whatever goal or whatever dream it is that you have, step one is always accepting where you are now and who you are now for what it is. Always, always, always. It's the art of allowing, the art of acceptance. It's viewing yourself from a place of love and compassion, rather than the judgment that you potentially assume that other people think of you, and then you sort of get in there first, because it's easier if you're mean to yourself than other people are mean to you. And this is why minimalism is so important. It's like you and your character and your identity is like a statue in a block of marble, and you kind of have to chip away all the things that aren't you to reveal what is you, because that is a process that is going to be incredibly illuminating and helpful. And also it allows you to simplify your life to an extent that you are forced to spend time with yourself. You're forced to look yourself in the eye for the real version of you that you are, the authentic version of you. The best thing you can do for yourself is to get to know yourself and to appreciate that that isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There is going to be darkness within you. There's going to be shadows in you. And that is absolutely fine. It is human. It is depth. It is growth. It is beautiful. But I think we can sometimes resist that so much and that's how we get caught up in these trivial things like buying stuff. By which I mean, it's basically so much easier to distract yourself with nonsense, especially because it's marketed to us that way. It's like, you want to change your life, you want to be a better person, you want to improve, well, do I have the thing for you? But the main takeaway that I would like you to take away from this video is that if you declutter something that you associate with a version of yourself that you aspire to be, you are not giving up on that version of yourself. That version of yourself is richer than just that one item that you're struggling to declutter. And it's also kind of more likely that that version that you long to be will come into fruition by accepting yourself for who you are right now today. You have to know where your starting point is before you know how you can progress. You have to understand what you are working with. And I think, all of these tokens and trophies and these things that represent versions of yourself that you feel reluctant to declutter, reluctant to give up on, I think can just distract. They can get in the way. And I don't want to get too woo-woo or anything here, but there also at this juncture comes the important point of trusting the universe, trusting the version of yourself that you're going to become. Because if we go back to the yoga example, you may feel that by decluttering the yoga mat, you are no longer going to be the version of yourself that does yoga. By accepting who you are today in all of your glory, in all of your messy human glory, you are more likely to become the version of yourself that you would like to become. And if that version that you want to bring to life is still the version of you that does yoga, you can get another yoga mat. A yoga mat will make its way into your life. You'll spot one in a charity shop. A friend will be getting rid of one. There'll be one for free on Facebook Marketplace. This isn't goodbye forever to that version of yourself. This is saying hello, thank you for being you, to the version of yourself that you are today, and knowing that the universe and the version of yourself that you are going to become is going to catch you later on in your life when you need to be caught. If you're struggling to declutter something because it is associated with an identity that you feel some reluctance to let go of, it's okay. And I'm also not saying that you have to get rid of it immediately or anything like that. Things are going to feel right when they feel right. But you're not giving up on your dreams or your hopes or your goals by decluttering something that you are not using today. The version of yourself that you long to be is much more likely to exist if you treat the version you are now, watching this video, with love and compassion and acceptance for exactly who they are. So that's what I've been thinking about. Anyway, I hope you are all doing well, and I shall see you shortly. I'm going to be doing a few more just kind of like little videos like this, I think, because I got a bit ambitious with my last one and then got overwhelmed with what I thought YouTube was going to be, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be little ones like this. Anyway, so subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and don't forget to like and comment, please, and I shall see you later. Lots of love. Bye bye.